Good Friday, everyone. Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, here with you on the Weekend Big Show, powered by Law Dog Sports, coming to you every Friday. Well, most Fridays at 9 a.m. Central Daylight Standard Time. And joined, as always, I am by my good friend and partner of a long time, Jeremy Schroeder, the ruler of the airways, and we're here to talk sports with you. Jeremy, before we get into sports, and we've got a whole lot to brush over today, the Thunder, the Final Four, both on the men's and women's side, and then also some baseball stuff going on. I think I would be remiss to not throw out first condolences and super sky points, as we see it on Twitter and stuff, to the late, great Val Kilmer. And that news was posted a couple of days ago, and he had been dealing with a lot of health issues, but I think he fought it, and I think he tried to stay doing something to the end, which I admire immensely. But man, you talk about a great actor and some classic roles that guy filled up.
Definitely. I still remember being very young and my dad taking me to see Top Secret, which is a great memory. A movie that I still love and holds a place in my heart to this day. And then, children of the 80s, we had Top Gun, Real Genius. What a role.
Yeah, everybody loves Real Genius. And then he probably cemented the deal with Top Gun. I mean, that one, playing the Iceman and that flat top blonde haircut. I mean, I think people knew this is a guy that's castable.
And especially when he hosted Saturday Night Live and they did Iceman the later years. Did you see that skit?
Man, you threw one at me. I don't remember.
You're dangerous.
I'll have to go effort that later. But
it's him and Will Ferrell and Chris Parnell.
Oh, okay. So the early 2000s.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to say this. My favorite Val Kilmer movie, and you can't deny Doc Holliday, and I'm not that guy. You know, it's just a classic role in a not so classic movie. I mean, if he's not Doc Holliday in that movie and he doesn't deliver that role, that movie's in the VHS bin pretty quick.
Probably, yeah. The Wyatt Earp movie that our friend Kevin Costner made.
Yeah.
It's probably a better film.
Dennis Quaid tried to, and I've heard people, I mean, there are always those people.
I don't think they came out pretty close together. So
Hollywood had no sense of timing back in the early 90s. If something's good.
You mean, like Armageddon and Deep Impact releasing at the same time?
How about, that one and Ants and A Bug's Life.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
A lot. Oh, and let's see. Basically, as far as like Native American movies, I just kind of follow the career of Wes Studi. If Wes Studi had work, you knew Hollywood was banking on frontier Native American films.
Well, back then it would have been Graham Greene, but
Graham.
I see what you're saying.
Thing is, Wes Studi was in as many or more as Graham Greene definitely. But anyway, my favorite Val Kilmer movie has Graham Greene in it, and it's Thunderheart, and that is my all-time favorite Val Kilmer movie. Sam Shepard, Graham Greene, even the late great. He played Joe Dirt's dad.
Fred Ward.
Fred Ward.
Love Fred Ward.
So great.
Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins.
Yes. He played a corrupt tribal chief in Thunderheart, and he changed his dialect quite a bit to suit the role. But what was it? It was a drama that was loosely based on the events surrounding the American Indian movement in the 1970s, and they couldn't call it AIM, the American Indian movement, so they called it ARM, the Aboriginal Rights Movement. And Fred Dyer delivered a great performance as a DC FBI head, given Val Kilmer his assignment. But at the end, Fred Ward goes, Maybe now the arm's going to be the busted arm. But anyway, and then also, and this is a little tawdry territory, so I'm careful with it. But one of the best roles that I think Val Kilmer kind of delivered was a show called Wonderland, in which
Yep.
he played adult actor John Holmes. And it didn't surround pornography; it just surrounded that character and
Yeah.
his drug addiction and his dealings with the L.A. Seedy drug scene. So,
Yeah, I don't think I ever caught that one.
well, that one, and it used to be on IFC a lot back when IFC was independent films. But anyways,
Well,
mhm,
he was in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which was a good movie. Man, what was it, Batman Forever?
yeah. Well,
He was
I
he
mean,
was he was good in that.
I'm going to say this over the weekend since we're expected to be, pretty shabby weather here
Snowed
where I'm
in,
at. Huh?
snowed in.
Yeah, I don't do much in the rain, but I'm just gonna say I think I'm gonna have to dig in and check out The Saint because I dismissed that back in the '90s.
I'm gonna have to rewatch it. I remember watching it back in the '90s and not hating it.
Yeah.
Uh, he was in so much good stuff back
Hmm.
then,
Yeah.
and then Doc Holliday, and then if you've watched Top Gun Maverick, the scenes he's in are excellent.
Really.
Though he couldn't hardly speak at that
Yeah.
point in his life. It
I
was
watched
good.
the documentary about him, I think on Prime, and that
Yeah.
that was a good one. I mean, it was an entertaining doc. But anyway, rest in peace, Val Kilmer. You really did a lot of great work that gave us all a lot of great joy here
Oh,
on the
The
planet.
Doors.
The Doors, yeah, yep, The Doors, and let's see, trying to think of any other little off ones that I can think of.
I can't think of anything else that just jumps out at me.
Okay. So anyway, Super Sky Point, as that guy Ricky Cobb on Super 70 said, and rest in peace. And, hopefully he got as much out of life as he could once he was, health started to decline. But Val Kilmer, he do any sports movies?
I don't think so.
Think so either. I mean, other than the volleyball scene, I guess, which Quentin
He was in
Tarantino.
MacGruber, apparently.
Oh, huh. I gotta say, I love MacGruber's sketch. I didn't go check out MacGruber movie.
Yeah, I don't. I probably should, but I won't.
I think Stuart Smalley saved his family. Kind of roasted me on SNL sketches because
Or
of
the
the movie.
it's Pat movie. Yeah.
Which starred the late great Charles Rocket, who was an underappreciated Weekend Update host, anchor. But anyway, a lot of what
Island of Dr. Moreau and The Ghost in the Darkness. How do we forget those?
I've seen.
Heat.
Oh yeah, Heat. Yeah, yeah. Married to Ashley Judd back in.
Yeah. He was in True Romance.
Is that the one with Christian Slater?
Yes.
Gary Oldman does a bang up job in that one.
Yes, he does.
Doesn't he have the
Dennis
dreads
Hopper.
and stuff?
Yeah. Gandolfini. Christopher Walken. Oh, he plays Elvis in that movie. So,
Who Kilmer does?
yeah.
Yeah. One thing you mentioned your dad took you to see Top Secret, you said?
He took me to see Top Secret. Yes. That
I'm
one
just gonna
and the
say,
Flash Gordon movie with Sam J. Jones.
oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
no idea
Those
how
are
much coke that guy
two
did
of my
later on.
favorite movies of all time, just because they're
You
like my first cinematic memories.
Top Secret was an HBO, staying the night at a friend's house who had HBO thing, and I'll just the main thing I remember is the Pinto scene.
This is not the Howard Johnsons.
And what really one of the great spoof movies. So
It was
just
so good.
nonstop gags. But anyway, so Jeremy, we gave out a list of topics last night. We kind of did a pre-production meeting, but I don't know. We could audible some things here and there, but I mean, I'll let you, since you are devoted into this thing. But I had some audio. Let me see if I can get it pulled up. But your your Oklahoma City Thunder are and I'm going to take it as a compliment is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to say this. When you have such a great regular season that you basically, create the fodder for clicks that the talking heads, because we don't have highlight shows anymore. We just have argument shows. But when you have such a great regular season, and it goes for anybody that you have to you have a great regular season, you have to follow that up. I mean, if you don't, it's just a disappointment. And that goes for anybody. But you're not going to be able to say straight out the gate that, this is, this team's done. This team won't get it done. Now, so to clarify what we're talking about, the Thunder have been quite the topic this week over the talking head nabobs. Marcus Morris getting on there saying there's no way he could see them getting past the Clippers, Lakers, or Warriors, I guess. I think yes, that was the summation of what he had to say.
The Clippers team, they've swept this year, right?
Yeah. The Clippers team that gets basically run out of the gym.
Yep.
And I'll get to that later. But I'm just going to say this for your advancement is it's got to be complimentary to the squad that they are so divisive, or that they create the opportunity for the mothership and others to be so divisive.
And they have to, because nobody's done anything until they've done it, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I remember when the Warriors were starting their run. Well, playoffs are a different animal. They're not going to – Steph Curry's not going to hit all these threes in the playoffs. There's going to be guys on him. He's not going to get that whistle.
Oklahoma,
they won a title.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me when you look at a team. Marcus Morris Sr., who has some sort of beef with Sam Presti after his brother played here for half a season, has never – seriously, he never has a good thing to say about the Thunder franchise.
Yeah.
Saying the team isn't deep enough. Their bench is a play-in team, and there's probably a top 6 team in the East. They have played full games and blown decent Western Conference teams off the floor with their athleticism and their ability to score and play defense.
Yeah.
1 through 5, they're a good defensive team. They're the best defensive team in the league right now, 1 through 5. And they have interchangeable parts. Dort gets in foul trouble. Well, let me interest you in the case in Wallace. How about Alex Caruso coming off the bench?
Yeah.
They have the superstar, the probable MVP. Go ahead.
No, and you're exactly right. Let me play this clip from Mike Greenberg on Get Up, and he kind of put it in good. He actually put it in good focus, which it's amazing to see some sense of a voice of reason on any of these shows. But this is Mike Greenberg talking about the Thunder.
The Oklahoma City Thunder of 2024-25 are having one of the greatest seasons in the history of the NBA. That's not an opinion. It is a statement of fact, and stating it is probably long overdue. Here's the deal. OKC has played 76 games. They've outscored their opponents by 1,018 points. In the 79-year history of the NBA, do you know how many teams finished with a point differential of plus 1,000? 3. And every one of them is basketball royalty. They are the 70-71 Bucks. A team was led by league MVP Lou Alcindor. The following year, the 71-72 Lakers. They won 69 games. They were led by Wilt Chamberlain and Jerry West. And then, of course, the legendary 95-96 Bulls. They won 72 games, and they had the league MVP in Michael Jordan. All 3 of those teams won the title in those years, by the way, and they lost a combined 8 playoff games along the way. Now, this year's Thunder feature the likely MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who not only leads the league in scoring, but as of last night, he has 20 points in 69 straight games.
Nice.
That ties Michael Jordan's record for the most since the merger. OKC is on pace to win 69 games. They lead the league in every meaningful defensive category. And get this, they are going to be the second youngest team to be a top seed since they began seeding. The only younger one was themselves last year. So what I'm saying is get used to this now and into the future. What we are seeing is not merely the best team in basketball. It is also, quite possibly, one that we will be talking about for years and just maybe decades to come.
A lot of young talent, very young team to play so well and be so good. this season, for your sake, I would love to see them get it done, at least to the finals, and at least a competitive finals. I've popped off all week long, Jeremy, and you know how I do about the script. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's a crooked league. There's no way to brush that apart. Silver was in town last night, I think.
It was night before last, yes.
Okay, so I saw Gabe Eichert took a picture with him and a bunch of
he
other.
was at the Grizzlies game last night, I think.
Okay.
To witness John Morant throwing the finger guns up again.
Yeah.
Well, has he been suspended for the season yet?
I don't think so.
Just 2 days in a row he did it, and he was told stop doing that.
Looking at this run, the thing is the Warriors had won a title, then skated to that best record since the Bulls of 97.
Oh no, they had the best record. They beat that record. They 73-9.
Then fell in the finals to Kyrie and LeBron.
Yeah.
Like I didn't see that coming, I mean, you got a loose cannon on your squad. He gets ejected. You have to, I mean, they really weren't ready for run number 2, or they were told not to be ready.
Sure.
The thing about it is, and I'll kind of lay off the conspiracy theory stuff, but I want to see that squad, because if people would tune in, if the networks would feature them, I think all of this gnashing of teeth and division between old and new would really kind of take a step back. And people are like, look at these guys and how they play. They play defense. They get out and run. They have 3-point shooters. They have mid-range shooters. They
got everything.
Centers. And here's another thing, Jeremy. From what I gather, and you'll be able to clarify this more, they haven't had a significant run with what will be their playoff 5.
No.
I mean, every time I look at a lineup, I mean, they've gone chunks of the season without it, but every time I look at the lineup, maybe somebody's taking a night off, or whatever the case might be. They get into the playoffs. I mean, these teams are going to have to deal with Holmgren and Hartenstein every night. SGA, the Williams. I mean, Lou Dort, and that gets
all them Williams boys. That's like 3 or 4 of them.
Them Williams boys, and that gets me to my next point. And I listened, by force, the pencil neck out in L.A. or a lie, and he is constantly talking about the regular season versus the playoffs, and refs swallow the whistle, and blah blah blah. Okay, yes, we know that's true. We've seen teams that fly high in the regular season, run and gun, this and that, have to slow it down. I've heard that since I was 20 years old, that, the regular season slows down. And, hey, by the way, we're streaming live on YouTube. If you want to join in on the chat, be sure and give us a comment. But the thing about it is, Jeremy, is that's good both ways. And that means that Lou Dort gets a little extra Lou Dort extra leeway when he's clamping down on people, and the numbers on him and the stars that he's held them far below their season averages is astounding.
Yeah, and this idea that Shea's only making his bones at the free throw line is flawed. Yes, he gets to the line. You know why? Because he gets to the cup.
Yeah.
If you drive the lane, you're in control. You're getting up good shots. You're going to get the whistle.
Yeah.
He's first in the league in scoring. If you take his 3-pointers away, he's third. If you take his free throws away, he's fifth.
Yeah.
And that's not taking anything away from anybody else.
Yeah.
So this idea that this guy's is only doing it at the line is flawed.
Yeah.
And it's because they are not on national television. The people aren't seeing the games. They don't see the joy that the team plays when they play together. They don't see the Nick Gallo interviews, which are just gold.
Just classic. Yeah.
It's a fun team. It's a young team. I think if they were marketed and exposed more, instead of watching LeBron fall on the floor and act like he's been shot because he run into somebody. He ran into Kuminga last night, who's just standing there trying to box out, runs into him, hits the ground, lays there for 5 minutes. They have to call a timeout to get his big butt off the floor. I'm so done with that crap. Just
that
play, dude.
And now he's got the world's worst, complainer in his back pocket right there with him.
Oh, him and Luka are just insufferable.
It's unwatchable.
Neither of them play defense. They're going to have to score 160 a night to win in the playoffs.
Yeah. And then you've got Austin Reeves just going out and committing a foul so you can get LBJ in.
Yeah.
They're late. He just goes and fouls just because we got to get him in,
Yeah.
And I was glad to see and here's going to lend more credence to my conspiracy theory. They have munched on these 2 through 6 teams in the regular season. I mean, you talk about regular season versus playoffs. The Lakers are a whole different animal in the regular season than the last 2 playoffs, they've just been swept.
Yeah.
I'm
aware of this.
Jack. And that was with Anthony Davis.
It's because you get more. The windows are tighter. The games are slowed down. Defense is a premium, and they don't play any.
Yeah, they do not. And I think Jimmy Butler showed that in glaring magnification last night with Fat Luka. I mean, if Luka made the switch on him, Jimmy was gone. And it would be tough to defend Jimmy Butler. I'm not going to say, but it is no challenge.
You could expose him. Imagine Chet switching onto him, or God forbid SGA gets him. It just, cook him.
Well, there was one last night late where he took a 3 and missed it, but the defender, I can't remember who it was, just danced beside him, just kind of was in his area, in his zone, and got the foul. It's just a joke.
Yeah, I know.
But I'll watch it. That's the sad thing, is because of your Thunder, I'll end up watching it.
Yeah, if they make the finals, it's a good season. It's a little bit of a letdown, but it's a good season.
You talk about
they win it. We're talking about a roster that could rip off 3 or 4.
You talk about
start losing guys.
Sure. Well, we saw it and it kind of has been the NBA rite of passage as a squad. And this was the thing with the Thunder. They made a final in third season that all the big 3 were together.
Let's see. It was 2012. They drafted Westbrook in 09.
9, 10,
Ibaka
11.
was 10.
Fourth season.
Ibaka was also drafted in 09 in that Westbrook draft, I think.
Westbrook started when they came in 08. Westbrook was on the squad.
Yes, he was drafted in that last draft in Seattle, because
in November
you can still find a Russell Westbrook Sonics jersey out there.
So I think it was the fourth season with that crew, because Harden was in his
second year.
Yeah. Okay. So that squad, you keep them together, and they're back in it.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. I don't remember if it was next year that Westbrook got hurt.
It was,
or was that 2 seasons later?
That was the 14-15 season.
Okay. So it was a while on, but the next year they lost to the Spurs.
Yes.
In the conference finals. So
that's when the Spurs beat LeBron.
No, that was the year that Ray Allen hit the
Boston 3 party.
Put it to OT.
Or was that the Heat?
That was the Heat. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the that was the Popovich no subbing back in his Hall of Fame power forward to get a damn defensive rebound. Thank you. Anyways, straight like I mentioned, it's going to be interesting to see what goes forward with this squad. And you talk about an economy locally that could use a finals, and not
definitely.
just the finals appearance, but like multiple games in the Paycom Center, if they could get to the finals. But, according to the experts of the talking heads, that's just not within the reach. So,
yeah, a nice deep playoff run would sure do us good.
Yeah.
But, Marcus Morris is not really an expert. He's just a guy on TV.
But these guys get jobs. That's what's stunning to me.
I know
Tim Legler's a busy guy, but you have to figure that it's going to be worth it to pay him to I mean, I guess they just have so many damn shows. What are
They
you gonna
do.
do?
I know. You gotta fill content. That's
And I'll say this: I don't even bother with the Fox analytics shows. What the facility with the effeminate Ocho, and then the one with Shady in the afternoon, or maybe Shady's on that one.
yeah. I don't even know.
And there's no way in hell I'd watch Nick Wright.
I'm turning into that guy that doesn't watch TV. So
Well, yeah. Wait till
the
you
other
get back with me.
night before last, I had the opportunity to tune into Bally's
Really?
while I was.
That's still
Yeah,
there?
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, it is. So I'm watching the game, and it's a good game. The Pistons game. The Pistons fought back, and they got it down to 6. And then, of course, Bally's loses the feed. And I was still at work at that time. We had closed kind of early, so I had the opportunity to watch the game because I don't have Bally's on my YouTube
Yeah,
TV.
okay.
So I get home and I'm like, oh well, the game's on ESPN. Thank you for blacking that out, ESPN. Not everyone can get down to the Paycom on a Tuesday night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. And you know what bugs me about YouTube TV as well is like we get 4, 5, and 9 out of Oklahoma City. We get 43 and 34, which I think those are KFOR substations. We don't get KSBI 52.
So you don't get the Friday night game.
No. No. It's unbelievable to me, but what are you
I
gonna
know. I don't know, man. I just don't know.
Well,
Like,
let
thought
me
about
ask you
switching.
this, kind of an
Go
exit
for it.
question.
Yes.
Would this team be getting – they're a small market team, and we know the dilemmas and the drawbacks of being small market in this league. But would they be getting the same lack of coverage if they were in Denver,
No.
Milwaukee, or San Antonio?
It'd probably be about the same if they were in those, because those Milwaukee and San Antonio, yeah, probably.
And I'm
Small
just throwing those
markets.
out there because those are long-standing franchises.
Right.
Would they be getting ignored as much in Seattle?
No, that's a bigger market. Imagine if this team was in Chicago, New York, or LA, or Miami.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to get them off the TV.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Shea and Chet against Wemby, and they didn't even televise it. They played a game against a bottom-tier Eastern Conference team and the Lakers.
Yeah.
Just so we can see LeBron stumble around on defense.
You're always going to get Lakers content. You're always going to get Lakers games. And, and really, what a slap in the face of the Clippers. You know how many Clippers games I've caught this season?
Yeah, but, the Clippers have always sucked. They're always going to suck.
They're gonna overcome the Thunder.
Oh, according to one guy who's got beef.
Actually, I did hear somebody else. I can't remember if it was it Reggie Miller or was it Richard Jefferson? One of them bald dudes. Anyways, Marcus Morris isn't the only one I've heard lauding the potential of the LA Clippers. I heard somebody else last week, but
I know. There's this fantasy that Kawhi is going to stay healthy for a playoff run, and Harden's not going to go 1 for 17 from 3 in a pivotal game 7.
He does disappear in the crucial games.
Oh, I know. It's like he has no track record. Oh, well, he's got a lot of track record of disappearing, except for one game against the Lakers when he was playing for the Thunder, and they just ran high pick and roll from the elbow, and he was able to get to the rim every single time.
I just remember they had the Warriors on the ropes when he was at Houston.
Yeah.
And then Chris Paul gets hurt, and the beard can't pull him through. Anyway, so NBA playoffs will be getting on here before long. Any interest in this game? Who knows who will be able to watch it or see it, but any interest in this Houston game tonight? Does it have any bearing on anything? I know. Do you want to win it? Do you want to send your squad out there against Devin Brooks and have potential for incident or what?
Obviously, you want to win it. Dylan Brooks is suspended suspended for a game
Oh
because
yeah,
he
the fight.
kicked someone. Yeah, gave someone a little shot in the chones the other night. So, yeah, you want to win it. You got a shot at 70 wins.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you have to win 7 straight after winning 11 straight. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's doable. Got the Lakers twice at home next week. That'd be fun to see them just thump them twice.
Are you seeing anybody on the YouTube chat? I'm not.
Let me flip over there. No, I'm not.
Okay.
Did you
Well,
send out the?
I didn't promote the stream on social media last night, but hopefully get people in the regular ready to see us on Friday morning. Sorry about last Friday. I just I had baseball to call, high school baseball, the I-40 Classic at Eagle Field in Weatherford, and you were working, but we did an episode with Newt Huntley. Oh, you were on there with him.
Yeah, I was on there.
Sooner State Baseball Report. Sorry.
Yep.
So he came on the Weekend Big Show. I couldn't remember. I've got two facets. I've got Western Oklahoma Sports Night and then also the Weekend Big Show. Newt Huntley from Sooner State Baseball Report came on, and he did a great preview of the I-40 Baseball Classic. And I tell you what, Jeremy, and there's a kid named Conover that went yard for OSU a couple of games ago, but the Tuttle Tigers can crank out some baseball players. I'm telling you, they look sharp. They play smart. They have good pitching. I mean, I got to call them versus Okarche, which that's another really good team. Oklahoma high school baseball, it really is something that if you wanted to get knee deep into it, you could see a lot of good players and you could have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's kind of always been that way in this state. There's a lot of good ball players. It's so ingrained in the DNA of this state, especially small towns, to have baseball. Kids just grow up, they keep playing it. It's great. I hope the game comes back around more. It's one of those things at the highest level.
Well, here's the thing.
We're getting so gimmicky in major leagues.
It has to happen. I mean, I'm not trying to be dire or apocalyptic, but it has to turn on kids from the United States, from the heartland, and I mean all kids. I'm not, we've got to improve baseball instruction and provide better leagues in the urban areas. There's a lot of untapped talent there. And I used to say this when I was with the Police Athletic League for soccer. You get the prime athletes from inside, the city centers, and that's not just designed by color either. I mean, that's all kinds of kids within the metropolitan areas. And the competition gets tough, and then you turn out some players. But I would love to see baseball particularly get a little better traction going on in the Oklahoma City area. But the suburbs around Oklahoma City really do crank out some players.
Yeah, and a lot of the problems are self-inflicted. We've got these travel ball. It's not inclusive. It's expensive. It's I hate to use that word inclusive. I'm sorry. I just want to go.
No, I get what you're saying. That's another thing. Just your typical working class family. I mean,
it's expensive.
You're going to have to decide if you want to make that investment.
That's true.
I lost heart for a lot of things back in the 90s when I knew some people through a part-time job. I worked on the side as a police officer, and they were basically told by a spring ball coach, which spring is when your season is.
Yep.
That if their kids didn't play fall ball, don't expect them to play in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought, you got to be kidding me. I mean,
yeah.
Now I'm sure if your kid's a good enough athlete or naturally inclined, they'll make the exception. But that's what I do like about Western Oklahoma out here in the Weatherford, Clinton, Elk City area, and then also the smaller communities is if you got an athlete, they'll get them going. I mean, it is pricey though. I mean, you want to specialize, you want to play against the best competition in any sport, you're going to have to fork over the cash. But it's it is. There's got to be something done because I popped off to a guy one time at Academy, and I'm sorry to be dominating the conversation, but
That's okay.
I popped off to a guy at Academy one time, and I thought he was going to hit me after I said it. He had his son with him, and his son was 5 years old, and he's buying, tees and what's the thing that you hold on the end of a flexible rod, and they hit the ball.
Oh yeah.
All kinds of batting aids and stuff like this. And he opened up the door. I just had to step in. That's what I do. He goes, a lot of money to be spending on on a 6-year-old, huh? And I said, yeah. And then you figure that there's kids in the Dominican Republic hitting with rocks and sticks that'll actually make the league.
Use some milk cartons for gloves and not wearing shoes.
He looked at me. He wanted to hit me, but he knew I was right.
Yeah, it's just nuts.
Yeah.
How it's so expensive here, but then they're churning out these ball players in small Caribbean nations that let's face it, they don't have any advantages that we have here.
No,
but
they have free play is what it
yeah,
is. They have free play.
We've priced our kids out of it.
Yeah, it would be tough. Even at my later years with my job, making more than I did when I started, it would have been a very questionable investment. But anyway, so I was busy last week. I put out the message that we weren't going to be able to go live Thursday night, I think, because I would have baseball pretty early the next morning. In actuality, I got sicker than a dog in the middle of the night. Lot of issues, just sicker than a damn dog. So I slept for 18 hours last Friday.
Oh my gosh, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, I woke up at 3, got sicker than a dog, took another couple hours to kind of get rid of the chills or whatever I was experiencing, and then just crashed. And I don't think I woke up until Saturday morning. It was crazy, and I didn't feel that much rested afterwards. But let's get into some other stuff, Jeremy, real quick, as I guess a lot of focus on John Mateer and the OU Sooner offense coming up with spring ball going on. I haven't had a chance to check out a lot of the air quote insider reports, but from what I'm seeing on some blips is that John Mateer is, you don't want to make the comparison, but there are some similarities in freewheeling style and just cojones with one Baker
to a certain number 6. Yes, I hate that. I hate that comparison's been thrown out there so freely. It's reckless. He's a good player. He's got that same body type. He's got that gunslinger mentality. He's probably got a little more wiggle than Baker. I mean, he's a good runner. Just let him be him. Yeah. He's what's that, Pete? Is it Nakos from On3?
Nakos.
Yeah.
Nakos.
He had a really good video about it the other day, and he was super high on Mateer, and he was spot on about Oklahoma last year. So, cautiously optimistic. The defense is going to be good. If the offense is good, you got a good season. Doesn't have to be elite. If it's elite, you might go. You're going to make the playoffs. You might have a good run. Please, can we do that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's with. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. That game tonight is not on any of the major networks, is it? Thunder.
God, no. Why would it be? You got the top 2 seeds in the West playing. Why would you flex that into a primetime game on ESPN or TNT? Why?
Wow.
Yeah, you got a 60-win team and a 50-win team going at it. Why? Who wants to see that?
Yeah.
I wonder who's playing. I wonder who's playing on the mothership tonight.
I'll have to look.
I got it.
Yeah.
I've got the mothership up. Let's see. NBA. Let's see. Phoenix, Boston on NBA TV. Great. Phoenix is out of the playoffs. Boston's just playing out the string because they don't have a chance to get to the first seed. We got Denver, Golden State on NBA TV.
If I can't see that Thunder Rockets game, I'll probably be totally tuned in to women's Final Four.
Yeah, why would you watch the NBA if it's just a dud of a game?
Yeah, I mean, that's just silliness.
I mean, the Suns are without Durant because, of course, he had his late season turned ankle. So he's not playing. And the Suns are just hot garbage. And we need to talk about how everything Kevin Durant has touched since he left Golden State has just turned to
He
doo-doo.
really is he is the Grim Reaper of franchises.
Him and Paul George, they should probably just banish them, make them go play over there in China with Hamidou Diallo.
Why can't both of them go to the Lakers?
Oh, that'd be so sweet.
In that
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we jump back into the NBA, and I just noticed that game was on whatever channels that Houston has and the Thunder. But back on the Sooners, you said that Pete Nakos said a good offense gets you a good season, and elite offense, who knows?
Oh, that's me saying that. He
Okay.
says John Mateer's a dog. The offense is going to be really good this year. This guy's going to, he's probably going to be one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the SEC.
Sure.
And that's not just him saying that. I've seen that from other outlets as well. They're extremely high on Mateer. They're extremely high on the Arbuckle offense. I think the biggest advantage, the biggest point to be made is Oklahoma will have an offense this year. A structured offense, not whatever that was that they ran out there last year, which they were good enough to win 8 or 9 games last year. I mean, just on defense alone, that offense was trash.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so let's go back. You've got a lead at halftime, I think, against Ole Miss.
Yes.
Your offense comes out, does absolutely nothing in the second half. Defense finally gives out.
Yep. Missouri,
South Carolina, you get so far behind the gun.
First 4 minutes.
Missouri's won. That's a win.
That game should have been over.
If
You fall in that
quarterback
ball,
just
go to
holds
OT.
on the damn ball, that game's over. I mean, the defense gave up a quick drive, but still, I mean, I don't know. But, okay, so that takes you to, what, 8 wins?
Yep.
If you can just play competitively in those games. Tennessee's a dogfight. If
you have 3 red zone possessions in the first quarter and
Yeah.
don't score at all.
So you're kind of enlightening me to look at it and say, I was way too gloom and doom. It sometimes it is small changes.
It was
Sometimes it is-
100% having no offensive scheme and no offensive plan.
And ball security.
And ball security. Taylor Tatum, God bless him. He's got all the ability in the world. He's just missing one thing. Can't hang on to the stink of football. They've got running backs. They've got some good receivers in there. Even with all those guys being hurt, they had guys that could, if you could scheme them open, they could make plays, but they couldn't do it. They tried to run their offense through Power Sharp, which was weird. It's weird.
Well, apparently Brian Kelly may try the same thing. I don't know. I mean,
I hope he does.
I'm seeing some big highlight reels of Bauer Sharp at LSU.
He's a good football player, but he's not a guy that you can run end arounds with or reverse tight end passes or tight end screens or he's not that guy.
The minute you said end around, a visual image came in my mind, and I had to laugh. I'm sorry, I wasn't laughing at you.
That's okay.
I mean, and that's hopefully that's what they'll be looking at with one Jaron Kanik in a bit of that role.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool if he could excel at tight end, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and therein lies the thing, and that's what's been so tough about last season with all of the receiver injuries and the shell of an offense, and then also, just players being asked to do things that they should never have been asked to do. It takes away that element of surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen this with Sarkisian. He'll riddle you with the tight end, especially if he knows he's got a matchup or mismatch. But it's like the Arizona State game. He waited till that last minute to get Gunnar Helm out there on a streak route, and it was just there. and he wasn't. He didn't show his hand, and I hope that's the case with Arbuckle. I hope Arbuckle just has that moxie in him to know when to when to throw this out there. Muleshoe had that.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh,
where I would go ahead.
For all of his faults and warts and lack of character, that guy. I mean, scheming offense, scheming to death, timely play calling, floating an H-back out there behind the linebackers and it go for a big play in a crucial moment. No one's better than that.
Yeah. Well, I would say, and my one caveat to Muleshoe was going to be, my problem with him was he was always trying to dial up the 16-point play. I mean, if it was a close game or if they were behind, there was no, let's just wear them down, get them to the fourth quarter, and then start picking them apart. That's how the great football teams operate. And he didn't have that.
That cost him so many games.
Yeah.
When he would just, you know what? We have just been gouging them with this GT counter all game. It's third quarter. We're up by 21. We're going to run it more.
Let's go halfback pass.
No, but no, not him.
No
halfback pass. We're gonna get stupid with it.
Yeah. Well, I hope for Brent Venable's sake, and I know he spoke with the media some this week. I didn't catch all of it, but for his sake, he's always going to get the company line.
Yeah.
It's a do or die year for him. He's got to get out there and make this team competitive in the SEC, or they'll move on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's time. If they don't win, I kind of think 8 games. If they win 8 with this schedule, he keeps his job. But if they don't,
let's preface that 8 games.
Win your home games.
Is Michigan part of that 8?
Oh yeah, they're coming to Norman with a freshman quarterback, and they weren't great last year.
The thing is that's so early. You win that, and everybody's riding high, and then you go through that midseason swoon or finish poorly. The 8 win. I'm thinking 9 in my mind to truly.
If they win 9 games, if they win 9 games with the strength of schedule they have, they'll probably get an at-large playoff berth.
You heard it here, folks.
I mean, look at the schedule. You got Bama,
I get that, but that's
Tennessee, Michigan.
That's so far away.
I know. I mean, South Carolina is going to be okay. Got to go to South Carolina.
Yeah,
win your home game. Win your home games, and then
got to go to Tuscaloosa.
Tuscaloosa replaced a lot of dudes.
I
don't know if Kalen DeMoore is Saban.
You got to beat up LSU and Norman.
Definitely.
And I'm not just saying for like last year. I'm talking about for 2003. I'm talking
all
about
the
for
years.
2019. You got to. I mean, it was kind of like. I'll say this, Jeremy. When Miami came to Norman in 2007 or 8, they thumped them in Norman because I know Landry had to go back in 2009 and face Calais Campbell.
Yep.
But you talk about, and just yours truly dealing with the 80s, you talk about a release to see that team go out there and just and I don't care where their program was at the time. It's got that U on the helmet. Go out there and put a beat down on them. That's what Oklahoma needs to be focused. I mean, that's something that needs to happen next season for all.
I think Calais Campbell was on that team that came to Norman.
Well, he might have been, but he beat the tar out of Landry in that 2009 season.
Well, once Ryan Broyles went down in that game, it was over.
Yeah. Broyles, they were just a bang up unit in 2009, but still, like I said, it was a the season.
That was Landry's freshman year.
Yeah, he got thrown in.
That was the year Bradford went down. Yeah, I mean, and they would have won the national title and been the best team ever had Bradford not gotten hurt. Is that how you do that?
Yeah,
they would have beat Bama
that's the
10
Colt
touchdowns.
McCoy. It's called the Colt McCoy theory.
I mean, they could have beat Bama by 10 touchdowns if Bradford not got hurt.
Shoot, yeah. So, anyways, Mike Gundy apparently saying that the no swear rule is out of place in meetings with the press. I don't know. I'll give Gundy credit. He's doing everything he can to try to deal with these things that have been thrown on him, and then also keep a job and maybe get the Pokes back into some sort of competitive nature in that Big 12.
Yeah, he got a big recruit this last week. Kewan Jones' son signed with or committed to him.
Yeah.
So that's a big win for him in state.
Kendall Daniels apparently pretty happy down in Norman after the transfer.
Well, go from driving a Volkswagen to a Porsche.
There you go. Hey, don't talk sports cars. You'll bring up the ghost of Kirby Smart.
Kirby Smart's not dead.
No, but he can transcendentally appear anywhere. A few more topics here to get over, but spring football will be interesting. I saw where I think it was Gundy that said, NCAA says they won't allow, cross practices or scrimmages. And he's basically saying, hold my beer.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
How are you going to enforce that?
Mm-hmm.
You don't do anything anyways.
Yeah.
NCAA is
it's a hulking
it's not
carcass.
It has outlived its usefulness.
Oh, yeah, they're done. Yeah. And, but anyways, I'll give Gundy credit because I think he knows he's going to have to be a little more outrageous just to get the exposure and get some notoriety that will give him some of those recruits. But, we're talking about a sport, Jeremy, and I'll say this, even though chalk held up in the NCAA tournament, we're talking about a sport where there will still be teams that go out and put it on. I mean, because of the fact that 5-stars land on a campus and portals get on a campus, and you give me the K-States, and I know they won't win a title, but when you're talking about just playing a regular season game, I'll still go with some of the lower end of the NIL scales squads to go out there and just give you everything you got because they've got guys that have been in the program for 4 seasons.
Yeah, that's always a plus. That's why this product has become so watered down. And I mean, it's pro sports. You can't even sugarcoat it anymore. These guys are getting paid. They're jumping around. It's worse than pro sports, in my opinion, just because there's no contracts.
Yeah.
And they need to do contracts. Who was it? Mickey Joseph, the head coach at Grambling, said, well, I should be compensated if one of my guys moves up a division.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pay a buyout.
It's got to be. And that's the case. And that's, and I thought after the offensive lineman jumped from Alabama to Iowa back to Alabama, that would really kind of get the ball rolling to get some things figured out. I mean, we'll pay you X amount of money, but you have to sign this here to say we're going to give it to you. Otherwise, it's just Eric
there will be
driving around a Texas A&M themed, Trans Am.
But that thing was gold, sir.
Okay. There's some gold in College Station.
He's still got it. He's still got the Trans Am. He didn't give it back.
And I'm tired of this argument. Well, coaches move around. Coaches have to be bought out. Nobody throws that out there as a caveat. And it's coaches move around, but that school's got to pay.
Jimbo got fired, and now his great-grandchildren aren't going to have to.
Gosh. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and
that's why Brent Venables probably still has a job because of a $42 million buyout.
Oh yeah. I promise you, he was on his way back to see if Dabo had something for him if the buyout hadn't have been what it was. And and therein lies another thing. These athletic directors and administrations, they're going to have. I mean, I know they got to secure their coaching talent, but you're going to have to also kind of taper those contracts some to where, okay, if you suck for 2 seasons in a row, we can get you out of here without buying the farm.
That is true. What did Harbaugh they reworked his contract and gave a bunch of money back because they were going to fire him?
Yeah.
So we started, hired Connor Stallions and started cheating. And
man, that is
allegedly
a tale as old as time when in doubt, cheat. All right, on the schedule tonight, as we will keep an eye out on we'll probably next week, Jeremy, just jump into a whole OU spring preview. I think it'll be enough time gone by or I'd say preview, just kind of a status update for OU football, and then also some of the Cowboys stuff. But looking at tonight and then also this weekend, it is the men's Final Four. And let me glance over the Law Dog bracket challenge.
I'm in dead last.
I'm in fourth, I think.
You can tell that somebody that didn't watch a lick of college basketball all year filled out my bracket.
Well, I mean, like I said, you're going into this turn. I think they said first time since 2008 that all 4 Final Fours have been one seeds.
Yeah.
And that was a Russell Westbrook, Kevin Love UCLA team, as well as Kansas with who's the little guard that played for a while in the league.
Jacques Vaughn.
No.
You say Kansas?
Yeah, Kansas. Mario Chalmers.
Chalmers.
Memphis, I think, did Memphis have Derrick Rose on that squad?
I believe so.
Yeah. Because they lost to Kansas in the finals.
Was that the Rose John Wall team? No, wait. John Wall played at Kentucky.
Kentucky, yeah.
Who was there was another really good guard on that team that ended up getting drafted.
Looks like Justin is in the lead with 110 points. I'm in fourth with 98. He's got Duke. I'm the only one in the top four or five that has Houston. So I need Kelvin to get his first title. How about that?
Yeah.
Because he's getting mentioned. He's getting mentioned by a lot of people who know basketball as one of the all-time greats. But you know how things work in this world if you don't have rings.
Yeah, it always helps. Man, he's a good coach. He's a really good coach. He was good at OU. He was good at Washington State before he came to OU.
Yeah.
Did things at OU that are legal now.
Oh, yeah.
I always forget about that, stint he had at Indiana.
That's what I was about to say. People have totally forgotten about his work with the Hoosiers, which you talk about a burning carcass of a program.
Yeah, that blue blood Indiana, and they haven't. When's the last time they did anything?
I mean, they had a tournament team wasn't Crean there for a while?
Tom Crean was there for a little bit. He went straight there from Marquette. Was that he at Marquette?
How douchey is the Sean Miller Texas hire? I hated that guy before he donned burnt orange. I hated him. I love Arizona basketball, and I hated him.
They should have offered everything. They should have offered half the puff fund to Rick Barnes to bring him back.
They should have. Michael Busso checking in, saying good morning on YouTube. First comment we've had.
Boost.
So I guess my fault for not putting out the promo post last night, but we'll try to figure that. We'll try to stay on top of that later. So, anyways, this weekend it's Florida and Auburn and all SEC tilt with Duke and Houston. Cooper Flagg, obviously a big factor in this tournament. Houston was really great last season. They lost one player from an injury and kind of fell from there. They're being touted as being better this season. I'm riding Cougars all the way.
Yeah, I think I've got the Cougs at this point. They're the best team out there. They're going to grind up. Who are they playing tonight?
It's tomorrow night. They play Duke. That one's the 8:00 game.
Okay, man.
Yeah,
they're gonna muddy it up and make it ugly, and it's gonna be tough on Duke to get baskets. Give me the.
Is that the Alamo Dome?
You have to ask me this.
Well,
you always stopped paying any attention once Michigan State was eliminated.
Poor Dan Narva. Mike Busso says Duke wins it all. I hate you.
What the heck?
Looks like it is at the Alamo Dome. Yeah, CBS.
Oh, there you go.
CBS.
Okay.
Those venues like that, I always, it's always an issue with the backdrop and the depth perception from outside.
That's what I was going to say. I don't think they should ever play college basketball or any basketball in a football facility.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. I know they can get more butts in seats, but man, come on. it's just too much. You see it on TV, it looks weird.
Without Googling it, do you remember the facility that North Carolina State won the famous championship in against Phi Slamma Jamma?
Oh my gosh, I would have. Was that the Astrodome?
No.
I don't know, man. That was a long time ago. Where was it?
It was west of the Mississippi.
Texas Stadium.
Mountain Time.
Oh. Mountain Time. Did they play in
The Pit, baby. Albuquerque. You froze up. All right. Michael Busso, I think Bill Rafferty may be retiring after this Final Four. Yeah, I'll have to effort that. But anyway, we've got Jeremy on a freeze up. There you are.
there
I
you
don't know
are.
if that was me. I think that might have been you.
I don't know. It was we were both frozen. So where was that?
The Pit in Albuquerque.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Lorenzo Charles with the slam jam bam of the alley-oop, which was actually a shot by Derek Wittenberg.
Yeah.
Or was it Thurl Bailey?
What year was that?
That was 83.
Yeah, man, I was 8. I don't remember.
Shut up.
I barely remember that.
Busso commented, I think Bill Rafferty may be retiring after this Final Four. I'll have to effort that, but I'll just say this. One thing that the NBA, and this comes, I call myself a semi-professional broadcaster. I do play-by-play, by the way. One thing I'll say this is, and I say this about myself too, is as you age, it's tough. I mean, it's just it's got to be so much easier for young guys. So many dudes that have done it from the time they were young to the time they were older. There's so much that's just second nature. Mm-hmm. And it takes a tuned ear to kind of catch some of the issues. I've not been a fan of all of the broadcasts on CBS so far, but it is what it is. But I'll tell you this much: for all the crap I give the NBA, man, Kevin Harlan and Reggie Miller on a call, that's some top shelf. That's some top shelf ball.
Well, Kevin Harlan, insert anybody else with him, is a top shelf call. You know how I feel about Kevin Harlan.
I'll give Ian Eagle a prop too. I mean,
Ian Eagle is very good.
When they're doing sports and the play-by-play, it's just a blast. I will say this: Jeff Van Gundy needs to go away. I put out on Twitter that it sucks that Fran Fraschilla is on the sidelines once the tournament starts. He should have some sort of A-Rod clause in his contract that lets him go, do games for CBS. It's just a joke that he's not more, not able to call tournament games.
Well, that's just the nature of the beast these days.
All right. So, anyways, Final Four going on this week. Who do you got, Auburn or Florida?
Auburn.
Okay.
Auburn's really good. Bruce Pearl's a jackass, but
so
man can coach.
Let me see. Like I said, I forget who I had in the finals. I know I've got Houston winning it. I just can't. I might have taken Florida to advance. I've got Florida over Auburn, and then I've got Houston beating the Gators. So, what a way to end that up too for Kelvin. I mean, Kellen's on that squad. Hollis Price is on that coaching staff.
Yeah.
Maybe Quantas White.
Quantas took a head coaching job.
But he's gone already?
Something. I don't know. I think he is.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. And as the tournament winds down, we'll kind of look at OU and OSU as what they may be looking at next year. I know it's hard to figure with portal things and things like that, but Porter Moser's got to replace his offense basically. Jeremiah Fears is gone.
Well, I'm sure he won't be the only one gone. And I can't believe that Porter is still employed. I guess he's got a year left on his contract. I think Oklahoma's trying to get out of the buyout game, so he'll probably
ride it out.
Lame duck here.
Have it pull a Mavericks ownership and just let it tank, and then
Unfortunately, you get nothing for tanking except
No, you
ridicule
don't.
in college basketball.
Exactly. There was something else I was going to mention. I'm having trouble remembering, but baseball. Well, real quick, noticed earlier in the week it was announced that Kelsey Music, the women's head coach at Oral Roberts University, was named the Arkansas head coach. Connor Carr has been burning me up this week. Excited. Kelsey Music had been the former basketball coach for women's hoops at Southwestern Oklahoma State University. She was there for quite a while and took the Lady Bulldogs to the national title game in Division II. Just a great, energetic coach. I'll tell you this much. I bang on OU Twitter a lot for their way they are. Arkansas leaves them in the dust. I mean, I'll say this: the tempered excitement with the just flat out ridicule was 50-50. I'll say with OU, it's 70-30 at worst. Arkansas has some really discontent mopes going to social media. I mean, a lot.
Well, Chuck, they've got all that Tyson chicken and Walmart money, and they suck at everything. Sorry, Connor. I know you're going to say baseball, but I'm just trying to remember the last time Arkansas won a national title in baseball.
Yeah, they're good in baseball. Man, OU got hammered yesterday by LSU's ace.
Yeah, they did.
Golly, 2-0, but just never really a threat, I guess. But no, and here's the thing. It's funny. I'm associated in some form or fashion with SWASU. You can see my hat. I've called a few games for SWASU here and there, done some PA work. I don't think I ever got to call any game. Only games I've ever got to call was a men's festival that they did with the MIAA, which is UCO, and I think Washburn's in the MIAA.
Yes, they are.
Okay, the Ichabods.
The Bods.
But anyways, so Kelsey Music goes from SWASU to Oral Roberts. She gets them. I think she had good records. I don't know if they made the tournament or won the Summit League. But anyways, so she goes to Arkansas. She gets introduced. And then I see a televised interview from a station in Fayetteville. Guess who's doing the interview?
Who's that?
Robin Hearn. Taylor Hearn's sister that used to be on the show when she was the sports director at CBS affiliate in Wichita Falls. Small world there, J-Rod.
Yeah, look at that.
So anyways, Robin Hearn did a great job, but I've started to reach out to her to get her on for to talk about her gig in Arkansas. She made the move from Wichita Falls to Fayetteville, but we'll keep an eye on Robin and follow her a little closer because Connor is a devoted fan or detractor, whichever one.
I thought you were going to say a degenerate fan.
No, he's devoted.
All are true.
He gives us can both be true. Okay, so but anyways, congratulations, Kelsey Music, and she already signed a transfer portal recruit, Lee Mayberry, the former Tulsa Rogers great and former Arkansas great, now coaching Victory Christian or Cassia Hall in Tulsa high school boys basketball. His daughter transfers, I think, from Georgia to Arkansas, and that made some positive splash waves for the Lady Hogs.
Yeah, she's got her work cut out for her there. That's a lot of expectations with not a lot of success.
So looking at the breakdown, Jeremy, of the Houston Cougars and the Duke Blue Devils, and I know Big 12 competition versus ACC competition this season is probably a pretty vast differential, right? BYU was a Sweet 16 team, I think, or
BYU had a good squad. You still had Kansas, who even in a bad
still had to go to Lawrence.
Got Arizona.
So team comparisons: Houston scoring 236, Duke 38th.
That's a Kelvin Sampson team. Oh, give me the defensive stats.
Rebounds per game: 143rd to the Cougars, 16th to the Dukies. Field goal percentage: Houston 111th, And Duke 12th. Now, I'll say this, the percentage points, and there's so many damn teams in NCAA men's basketball, the percentage points aren't that drastic. It's field goal percentage is 49 to 46.
Sure.
Okay. Free throw percentage, Houston 118th to Duke's 17th. Texas Tech is in the Final Four if they hit free throws.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they beat Florida if they hit free throws.
Got to hit those free throws. They're free.
3-point percentage. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Houston, 4th at 39.7. Duke, 9th at 38.7. So, it'll be an interesting one. I'll say that.
Cooper Flag. Duke 1, Houston 0.
Exactly. So it'll be interesting to see. All right. So that's all I can think of right now, Jeremy, that we were looking at. I didn't, like I said, I'll need Houston to win it all, I think, to have a chance to win the bracket. But I think it's Justin Goodnow is Steven Anderson's friend who is in the lead as we speak. But
and he's got Duke.
Yeah. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the weekend. And I guess I could win it even with Houston beating Duke, right? I don't know the points spread. Points. Anyway.
Where are you at? Well, there he is. 26. Yeah, you're 98. He's at 110. I don't know if you can catch that.
So he may be done. All right. Well, that's why I pay you the big bucks to figure things out for me.
You got to make up 12 points in 2 games.
That's right. NFL draft. It's going to be interesting going forward as what are we, 2 weeks away from the draft?
Yep. Shedeur Sanders is having a pro showcase in Boulder. So we got that to look forward to, I guess.
The over-the-shoulder Boulder holder.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, here's the thing. I'll give him credit. He played under a lot of duress last season, and he'll wherever he lands, he'll have to get. Do you see him becoming a giant? I just see the things working out for him to go to New York.
See, here's the thing with that. If that's what your plan is, because I honestly believe that the Giants have no plan. Why do you sign Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston if you're going to draft a quarterback? I mean, you're gonna be garbage anyways this season. Why not just draft a quarterback early and let him take his lumps his first year?
I think it's so that you can have somebody.
But you only need one of them.
But I mean, well, do you? I mean,
do you need Russell Wilson mentoring a young quarterback? I don't know if I don't know if that's a great idea. Now, Jameis, okay, at least he's
maybe they counteract each other. Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe the caution and then just willful disregard kind of balance out.
I don't know. I'm going to go punish myself later and make myself watch that Subway commercial.
I would think that honestly, you want somebody on the field that can get it in the vicinity of Malik Neighbors.
You still have Tommy DeVito too.
Well,
they re-signed him to a contract.
I
don't know what they're doing.
I think the optics just looks. I mean, maybe they don't. Maybe they go get Travis Hunter. I don't know.
I mean, they didn't pay Saquon.
No.
And then they cut Daniel Jones. So I don't know what their plan is.
They have no plan, like you said.
They have no plan.
But
maybe Cleveland drafts him and they can ruin another young quarterback.
Man, you talk about really throwing the white towel. I mean, is it a little early throwing the white towel in on Deshaun Watson's career?
No, it's incredibly late.
Well, character-wise, yeah, but wouldn't he have had something left in the tank?
I don't know. When he decided he didn't want to play for a season and a half in Houston, I think most teams washed their hands of him.
Okay. Well, it'll be interesting.
And then the allegations, and now the Achilles. He's not going to play this season.
So that's already been Ward go 1.
Yeah, I think Cam Ward's going 1. And
former Washington State quarterback.
Yeah, he's going to go to. Was it Tennessee? Has the 1 pick?
Think Tennessee's got the first pick.
And they've done so well developing quarterbacks.
Will
they said their next franchise quarterback. So they haven't had a franchise quarterback since Steve McNair.
It's so funny with the argument, and I hate to bring this back up, but with the argument of, because I saw a post where they showed LeBron in the weight room flexing with his shirt off, and then it showed a picture of Bill Laimbeer, running down the court, and the comparison and the athleticism and this and that. It's like, well, it's funny how being a workout warrior, is selective, because Will Levis is a workout warrior, and he's got a cannon of an arm, and he's just been garbage.
Well, I that might be systemic too. I mean, they're just not good.
No.
They're not good at all. They don't protect anybody. They don't have anybody to throw to.
And that's the guy. There's a lot of franchises. Just nobody's going to be good there.
I mean, they traded A.J. Brown for a 1, used that 1 to draft his replacement, and his replacement hasn't been able to stay on the field. But they're just not any good. It's just a bad franchise.
Hope that's not the curse of McNair on them, but or you know what it is? It's the bad juju that Bud Adams brings to everything.
Yeah.
Release the logo.
He should release that logo. Let it go back to Houston.
Speaking of, is that your OKC Comets hat, or what do you got going?
No, this is the Rocket City Trash Pandas.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's an Angels affiliate in Alabama.
Nice. Where do you get your hats?
I think I got this one Fanatics, maybe.
Okay.
Or New Era's website. I don't remember.
All right. I'll because when I go to Lids, when we come to the city, I find nothing of use.
Yeah. The ones here in Norman doesn't even have the Comet stuff yet.
Hey, I do want to give a shout out real quick, and we'll kind of leave on a somber note. Sad deal in Frisco, Texas, the other day at that high school track meet with the kid that was stabbed in the heart.
Over a parking space.
Was it in the parking lot or was it out on the track field?
I think he followed him inside.
So it started.
I think so.
Okay, I'll read up more on it. I just saw the highlights. They weren't given a lot yesterday, other than the decedent's father's interview. The stabber's father gave an interview too. So okay,
I am not going to comment on that. You can read it for yourself and select your level of outrage.
I kind of had I had in mind, even before anything would have ever been released, what the retort would be, but it's a sad state of affairs regardless. And I think I saw a deal out there, and we'll preach this on our show as well. This goes for kids, high school kids, college age kids, young adults, 50-somes. You go pick that conflict. You better make sure. There's no way to make sure, but you go pick that conflict. You need to really consider where it could go, and that
goes worth your life.
It goes for the Target parking lot. It goes for, I mouth off as much as anybody, and I should probably quit when I'm trying to look at polos at Kohl's, and somebody's crowding me, and I give dirty looks.
One kid's dead. The other's probably going to spend the rest of his life behind bars.
Yeah, and then I think I saw some trophy shots with an AK popping up online and some rebellious stuff. But the thing is the decedent's father brought it out. It's like, what kind of leadership, what kind of parenting did this kid have that he thought, regardless of what happens, that was a course of action. You just
read the father's statement.
Okay, I'll take a look at it. All right, well, let's get on out of here. He is Jeremy Schroeder. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, and we are the Weekend Big Show. Thank you for tuning in, Michael Busso, and giving us some comments there. His last comment, Jeremy, Thunder up.
Thunder up.
So good luck to the Thunder tonight against Houston, and we will be looking forward to the NBA playoffs as well as this weekend's Final Four. And I don't know, we'll be on the air. They'll have probably crowned a champion by the time we get back together, but we'll talk about that next week and kind of preview some area college basketball, and then also we're going to have to get into some MLB because this Dodgers and Yankees crap has just got to end.
Yes.
All right. He's Jeremy Schroeder. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. This is Law Dog Sports, the Weekend Big Show. Be sure and follow us on Instagram, Twitter X, and Facebook at Law Dog Sports. And then also please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow our content at Law Dog Sports as well. All of those links available on the website at Law Dog Sports. You can listen to this podcast at your convenience on SoundCloud, Spotify, Amazon, and Apple Podcasts. Be safe out there. Don't text and drive, and sure don't drink and drive. And we'll talk to you next week.